There's a chart that I shared with you, right? So we have all the Southeast Asian tigers in this, plus China, and we see that their GDP per capita has increased significantly since the 1960s. But if you look at Pakistan, we started off in 1960s almost, shoulder to shoulder with these guys, but now we're at the bottom. And we have been perennial bottom benchers in this particular game, right?
Yes.
Of GDP per capita growth. And it's a clear sign that reform is not working. If reform was working, it would have shown some trickle-down effect in terms of increasing the GDP per capita in some way or another, right?
Yes.
So can we say based on this that the reform process in Pakistan has failed? If not, then why is it not working as robustly as these countries have demonstrated?
So I agree. And I think one of the principal issues that we see is that at the time of independence, we were, relatively a breadbasket, flush. We benefited immediately from worldwide changes in agriculture as well.
Yes.
And compared to, let's say, India at the time or everyone else, they sought a non-aligned position, whereas we looked for aid and partners immediately. And I think that created some perverse incentives when it came to developing our own systems, because there was also some degree of external buffer that kept coming in for us. And that could have worked, but what's changed in the meantime is that our population growth has been exponential.
Yes.
And to address that, we now have issues in the sense that our economy is technically fairly narrow. We don't have exports. We need imports. We have no source of creating or getting dollars other than loans, other than means of just attracting investment that isn't systemic for us to see that any one industry is really doing well and is bringing in money and is creating, export orientation. So I think that for Pakistan is that the problem now for reform today is that in our quest for stabilization, post that rapid inflation of 38 to 40%, the only way that we can curtail inflation is to make sure we don't grow and we don't import.
Yes.
Now, the problem is any serious reform process is going to continue that pain for some more time.
Yes.
Because you're going to have costings that are going to be passed on, subsidies that are going to be eliminated, exemptions that are going to be done away with. And this presents not just a political problem, but also an extreme test on the patience of the people, because we're also looking at that real incomes are falling. And then we're asking them to pay more market rates eventually in some things. We know that this will benefit us by having a more dynamic economy in the long run, but this requires a degree of creativity in terms of economic management going forward. I believe that that can be done with Pakistani policymakers, and they've got the vision. But then we have a straitjacket, which is the IMF.
Yes.
And they have their own ideology when it comes to how we need to manage this. How much the IMF gives us is not a lot. IMF's real value is the signal it sends to other lenders and other markets that Pakistan is behaving with discipline.
Yes.
Which we are doing. But we are not, while addressing one problem such as inflation, such as creating stability in the economy, the real thing, which is like with the added number of people coming every year into the job market, which requires at least 6% growth, is that we are not addressing that. And then this pool of teeming young people is growing with nothing really to do and not being able to see a future going forward. Our economy, where it is today, is actually the result of good times gone bad, which is what was the feature of our economy, which was aid dependent, rent dependent, international alliances, particularly with the US. And that led to leaders, military and civil, who decided that in order to go forward, it would be better just to use this surplus rather than, actually using that to somehow create more engagement in the economy, to reform it, while you've got a buffer of funding coming in.
Yes.
And so I think right now, I don't have an answer to this, but I think this is probably one of the most critical things Pakistan does, is it gives you incredible growth for 3-4 years, and then it takes it away in the next 3-4 years through inflation.